Test, test, un, deux, test. I'm setting this up, so if you're listening to this, I'm terribly sorry. It must be pretty fucking boring. So, yeah, I wanted to do a little follow-up about the stream I did with Forge. So, let me just... I believe that's actually an actual song. Let me just. It's for sure that's something.
But, yeah.
So. Oh yes, it still exists. It exists for like 5 seconds. So like Forge Lloyd shared a prayer with us, and which I will like to actually read to you guys. We have at page 1157 of his Bible, I believe, Romans 9:11. For your sake, we are being killed all day long. We are regarded as sheep to be slaughtered. No, in all these things we are more than conquerors. Through him who loved us, for I am sure that neither death nor life, nor angels, nor rulers, nor things present, nor things to come, nor powers, nor height, nor depth, nor anything else in all creation will be able to separate us from the love of God in Christ Jesus our Lord. And we have the serenity prayer. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. Living one day at a time, enjoying one moment at a time, accepting hardships as the pathway to peace, taking, as he did, this sinful world as it is, not as I would have it, trusting that we will make all things right if I surrender to his will, that I may be reasonably happy in this life and supremely happy with him forever in the next. Amen. Thank you so much, Forge, for sharing that with me, and with us, and I'm really happy to have read it. I was gonna skip that shit. I was gonna skip it. I was like, oh, he's saying to read that, but like, I have like so much more things to do. Like I have to go, like, I don't know, man, to do like more important stuff. I fucking don't know. That's in those days. That's life, man. Our demons, they're like possessing us. They're like, oh, you go do that thing. That's gonna be so swell. That's gonna be so cool. And then we go do it, and then it's not what we wanted. It's something else. And I really love that. That's a prayer, man. And so to do a little follow up with this show, I kind of noticed that. And I'm sorry for that, I noticed by listening to Forge Lloyd's show with me, that I was being obnoxious. I'm sorry about that. The little like hyena laugh and shit like that. Listening to myself makes me self-conscious in a good way, I believe. And then listening to that made me realize I might need to calm down simply, and then to be able to like exchange ideas in a like more, and probably like I don't know, maybe Forge is listening to this and he's like, bro, you're good, like you're fucking good, don't worry about shit like that. But it's not about that. It's just about like if I want to like be effective in life, even if it's not on YouTube, I like YouTube isn't about YouTube. YouTube is about life, and life is about YouTube, and everything is everything, and the skill you learn by like talking like at a reasonable pace, and we were able to pack a whole lot of content in those 47 minutes, which is like kind of an advantage of being obnoxious. But the big problem is the tint in the voice, this cracking. It's like, I don't know, man. I'm 28 years old, but if you would listen to this podcast, you would feel like those are two, like, I don't know, you'd feel like I was younger or something. That's not the case. And or maybe you'd feel I was older, I don't know. But the idea is like, character wise, I don't like that about myself. I don't like that jumping off the that's no cool. That's not cool. But the idea is not to berate myself for an hour and a half. The idea is just to like focus on the point also. What I was trying to say with Forge, and which I believe I was able to say in the end, or even at the start, is that we're getting eaten alive. The same work we're doing now makes us like maybe a third of what it used to make us in 2016. That's 2016. That's not like a lifetime ago or anything. That's counting in gold, and that's assuming like everything follows gold, and that like most things went up like 2.7 fold during those 8 years. And for some things it may be true. For us, I don't know. Does the house went up? Yeah, probably. It probably did. So like if you would compare it to a house, maybe it would. If you'd compare it to cheese, I don't know. I have invoices from 2016. So I could check to see, but I believe maybe cheese went up twofold or something like that. But so like it's comparison isn't perfect. It's close to perfect, but it's not perfect. But the idea is, if you work to amass gold, let's say that's what you do. That's your prerogative in life. Then yes, you have to work 2.7 times as much, and that's going to bring you to a larger income bracket. So probably have to work like 4 times as much to make the same money, considering everything. And that's a shame. That's really a shame. And there's infinite ways. That's the point I wanted to make, and that's why this stream exists. Is that there's infinite ways to palliate that problem. And there's not one way. Like gold, silver. Maybe that's my way. Maybe that's a good way. Maybe I don't know. That's what I do, and I believe in it. Don't get me wrong. But for you, it might be something else. If you are, I don't know. If you are, invest in yourself. Because everything you can do yourself, that's something you will be able to make the new money tomorrow. If you're useful to other people, you can, like, you could make like 3 times as much. If everything is 3 times as expensive, and people they need you, fucking just ask more money, and they need you. Like it's not if you have a skill that's really like unique and rare to find, they'll pay you 3 times as much. Like, they don't have the choice. If you really like, the idea is not to be like dependent on that transaction, you know. If you have enough in yourself, you know, if you have enough in yourself, you don't need. And if you don't need, you'll have way more. They'll give you way more because you don't need. If you need, they'll give you a little, just a little, because you need. And that's how you get nice transaction too. If you want to do transactions with other people, if you want to like hire someone, I don't know, if they do need, you're in a prime position because they do need, so you can just pay them little, and you're fine. You can use that labor. If that works well for them, they won't need you forever. You can be an asshole about that and like be like, oh, I own you and whatever, like a Steven Crowder type. I'm not meaning that as disrespect to Steven Crowder. I like the dude, but you can't say that. Where was I? Dead air. It's gonna kill them. It's gonna kill them so fast, the dead air. Where was I? I almost need to re-listen to it to know where I was. So yeah, you make less money. You have to invest in yourself. By investing in you, you get a skill. And that skill is sellable for more. That's where I was. If people need, they'll settle for less. So the only way you get what you want is that if you don't need. If you don't need something and you buy it, it's like, it's a little something for you. It's a little something for yourself. It doesn't mean anything. If you absolutely do need it, it's like, that's huge, you know? And you have to reverse those things. It's like, you have to not need food to be able to afford food in an economical fashion. So if you buy bulk, I don't know, frozen meats, and you eat that as well as other things, is you still don't need the other things because now you have a supply of something you can eat. So now you reverse that philosophy, that way of being, and that way you don't get fucked, you know. And that's the same thing for work. And the problem is that not everyone, yes, everyone can do that. It's gonna look different for different people. That's the idea. And no matter what you do, you have to like be able to do it yourself. Right? You do something for someone else. Let's say you sell cars for other people. Get that skill for yourself. Like, use that as an opportunity to learn that skill for yourself. You now are a salesman. Right? You're not selling cars. You sold cars for that one guy. That doesn't mean you're a fucking car salesman. You can sell anything now because you got that skill. And that's what matters. You go put yourself out there, learn the skills, make yourself valuable, don't get fucked. If you stay where you are and you continue doing those minimum wage work, minimum wage is going to be like worse and worse every year. Like, even counting in gold, 2016 to 2025, you got fucked. Like, and I'm in that position too. I'm not saying like you got fucked and I'm so much over it. No, we all got fucked. The minimum wage work is like, it used to be like somehow you could always go there, you know, if no one wants to work minimum wage, but you can go there if you absolutely do need the fucking money. And so we lost that. We lost. Something else I wanted to come back to is that the community thing. So I'm not advocating for us to get into a community and to like start exchanging with each other. It would work the best, but that's utopia. Utopia means nowhere, and it means nowhere because it doesn't exist. So you're not gonna make utopia for yourself and live in it. It's not gonna happen. What you can do though is create that little thing for yourself from what you got. So don't try like to organize. I'm gonna organize with 50 of my friends and we're gonna buy that town. That's not gonna happen. you organize with people that are already there around you. So let's say I live where I live, and I know the butcher, and instead of going to like the big supermarket thingy, I go to the small place, because the small place I can know the guy, and if I know the guy, then we have a rapport, and the rapport is the valuable thing in that exchange. And so you build that rapport by doing good transaction for him. And if you see that goes both way, then you get to do other things which aren't like shady or anything. It's just like he calls you because he has a deal on something. He knows you like that, so he keeps it for you or something. Maybe sometimes you can buy wholesale from that guy because you're like, oh, I really like that. Can I get like your price? Can I buy like a whole box like you do, and like we do it that way? Or the butcher, you can be like, oh, how much is for a cow? Like, can we buy like a cow and we split it half and half, and I pay you to like butcher it, and that's transaction that appears, but it appears from that community thingy we're talking about. But it's not like I'm gonna go with my friend and be like, okay, you be the butcher, I be the forge. No, just go talk to someone who's already the butcher, go talk to someone who's already the forge. Like, I'm guessing if we are in let's start a community thing, that means we're no one, and that therefore we need those other people, etc. I used to think that way, and let's start a community, but it's like the only way it could work is if you go alone someplace and then other cool people they join you. But even then, I feel like it's easily corrupted. It's like it's better just to associate with like cool people and then build on top of that. So that's for that aspect. And for what is of acceptance of CDN system or something like that, my thought is that the way it would be accepted is I'm selling those blanks, and people are using them to make other tokens. I can make my own tokens which are CDN official or something like that, with like the logo of the company and stuff like that. So it's like it's tight. Those are all options. I'm also doing political parties. So I'm with a political party and I asked them if they wanted a token. So we made that token for them, and it's also compatible with the system. I can target every political party with that idea because they all can use funding mechanism to make money. And the way it works here in Quebec is if you give $1 to a political party in Quebec, you get $2.50 back. So it's really advantageous for them to make the token. The token is worth $10. They make it for like, I don't know, $12. They sell it for $10 and they get 25 back. So that means they spend 12 to make 35. So for them it's really nice. And especially for here in Quebec, we have the Bloc Québécois, and the Bloc Québécois is extremely interested in maybe like becoming separated from Canada. And for that, they would be interested in like Quebecer piastre to be like protected against the eventual question of like, what will you do with for the money thing? What do you do? That's going to be the question, and right now they don't have an answer. And so I believe it might be possible to like deal with them, and that way it would be like broader appeal. So it's like I can accept it for myself, a solution for myself. I can give it to other people. It's a solution for them if they have that same problem. People who want to make like custom coins or token, they can buy that stuff from me, and it's also compatible with the system. And so to me it's just about applying like all the solution that can be to a problem. So I believe we went through all that, and I'll change the title to book club, because right now I'm gonna do the book club and I'm gonna go explore a little bit more of that. Topic, which is like national socialism, etc. Because as we were saying, it's like it's important to understand what happened. And before I like go into that, I'll just like do a little interlude to explain my theory on things, because people might be, if they listen to this, might be interested by what I think. So, I think I don't have all the informations in the world, but from what I understand, okay, the USA wasn't in the First World War between 1914, the start of it, and 1916. So they weren't in it. And from my understanding, this war would have not finished the way it did if the United States wouldn't have joined that war. The United States did join that war, and Germany lost. Something else that happened, and which is interesting, and is the only reason why, well, is one of both reasons I have this thought in my head. One being Peter Schiff, which has the same theory. If the USA wouldn't have helped during the First World War, then there wouldn't have been a Second World War. And in the end, they helped because it was convenient for them, and they made a whole lot of money helping during the first and helping during the second. And if the first leads to the second and you make money, you see how that works, how that would be interesting. But what's missing is why they joined the First War. And that's the missing piece. And how I think they joined the First War, and there's propaganda poster confirming that it was part, at least, of their propaganda effort, is the sinking of the Lusitania. And I didn't knew that before meeting someone who's dead, and which is my favorite author, Albert Hubbard. And I asked myself, after reading his book, The Philosophy of Albert Hubbard, and I read the second edition, I believe, or the third, I don't remember. It's a bigger book. It's not a small book. It's a bigger book, and there's like a whole lot of text in there. Not like the first edition, which is like very restricted. Both books were written after his death, and my question was, how did this guy die? And then I learned that in 1915, the Lusitania got sunk by a German torpedo before the USA joined the First War, and that how Albert Hubbard got into the Lusitania was because he had an interview scheduled with Bismarck, with the king of the German back then. And so he had that interview scheduled. He would do a tour of the Europe with his philosophy, and then perhaps would convince them of like not doing war, because that was his philosophy. His philosophy was not to prepare for war. If you prepare for war, you get what you prepare for. If you prepare for war, you're gonna get war. And he has examples to back that up. Not backing up the positive case, but backing up the negative case, where we had a potential conflict with Canada and the United States, where a whole lot of troops were amassing at the border at a specific junction. And a treaty was established to stabilize by disarming. And only, I believe, 2 patrols each side remained. And that was a way to de-escalate tremendously by not preparing for war. So when the Lusitania sunk, a whole lot of propaganda poster on the United States side got released, advocating that we, meaning the US, go to war with Germany. And that's what happened. And as explained, since this event leads to the Second World War, they killed 2 birds with 1 stone. It took some while. And what I wanted to say also is Albert Hubbard was friend with all these decision makers. So this guy getting killed is like kind of a big deal. Like maybe he was set up to die on that boat. That's possible. I could get behind that. there is some sketchy stuff with the Lusitania if you dig a bit. It was declared like an army thingy, but they had like cheese and stuff on board. Anyway, there's a whole bunch of excuses why the Germans sunk that ship. It was very obviously like carrying weapons. Actually, like, I see there's one person listening, but you know what? I have family like who just arrived, and I'm gonna spend time with them. I'm gonna put the kids to bed, and I'll come back and continue this. I hope you had a great time, and we'll do book club later. Have a